State roll. Gary Curry chair here. Eddie Haas is here. Vice Mayor Alec Frankie is here. Jacqueline Milford Torres is absent.
Are they all on? Hard to hear.
You are. Okay, so we have a quorum. We have one person signed up for the public comment. Joanna Haas. She'll be speaking of the historical survey and inventory.
It's not on, it's not. Doesn't look like it.
Here's on. Is this on?
They light up, they're blue, they're on.
Okay, so we have a quorum and we're going to the public comment section. We have one person signed up, that's Janelle Haas. We'll speak to historical survey and inventory.
I gave Gary some copies of some maps. I'm the county historic chair, and I've been working on this with Wendy, who used to be on the commission as well. And this is something I think we can easily team up with for the city. It's crucial, I think, survey and inventory. The maps that I gave him, I'll just kind of show you right quick. So this is, there's several different ones. It's just different views, but this is the one, and it shows Blanco, and this is Twin Sisters area, and then Dawson City for the whole county shows this. But it really focuses in on Blanco because TxDOT is moving this direction. So I'm working with them directly and giving them this information because they have to have their GPS address, all that sort of stuff, which I have a key for that with all the documentations, but it's not public. So I have another one that doesn't have names, addresses, and GPS for people to see the categories and kind of what we're doing. The categories are like rock structures, which are bridges, fences, buildings, cisterns. Water would be wells, springs, creeks, rivers. Archaeology would be fossils, indigenous finding, heritage trees, cemeteries, biological vegetation, wildlife, migratory birds, endangered species, environmental. How will it affect your place if developmental things happen? Historical and historical events, Indian Civil War. The settler was used for like the 1800s. You know, to hide stuff like that to help people, historical markers, that sort of stuff. In each one, there's a category, multiple rock structures, so they're color coded by what they are, and that's how TxDOT looks at that with the GPS and categories. It's really important for them because without this, and they start coming across your property, they can just come on through. But with this documented, they have to at least stop and evaluate everything, no matter what. It doesn't mean they're going to stop. It just means it just puts a stop sign up for them. So, you know, Lego itself needs a lot more help, I feel like, as we develop, as we do things. And so, if y'all already work in that direction, I think we can team up together because there's so much stuff we've already done, and it's silly for them to redo it. So, we'd love to work with you guys to help on that. So, anyway, that's what we're doing. The other thing for people, y'all might send a representation. I know Patty's going to be there. TxDOT is pulling a meeting together on July 13th at Twin Sisters Dance Hall for the stakeholders down there. And because we already been declared by the state of Texas a World Historic Landscape down in the Twin Sisters area, which is massive, they can't just come through the land like they wanted to. So they're bringing their engineers on the 13th to the Twin Sisters Dance Hall to meet with the stakeholders to sit down and figure out what we're going to do. So, any questions?
Thank you so much. We eagerly look forward to working with you on this. I think Jackie is going to be doing a lot of our surveying and she expressed interest in learning what to do and eager to get to it. Certainly. So I have a question. So what he just said, what you're looking for is a survey and inventory for the city?
All of it. I mean, but we can work together. We've already put some of them on here for the city.
Yeah, Jackie is.
Yeah, so there's no sense in doubling that energy.
Do we have the Underground Railroad over here?
It is listed in the Blanco.
Did you
River.
find the article?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I have that article actually. But I do have that on the Blanco River because I don't know if you knew about the Underground Railroad. So the Blanco River from Smithville all the way to the headwaters of 1888 was used as an underground railroad for slaves. And they used tributaries like, they had German, especially German homes or buildings and stuff that maybe had a cellar or place for them to hide. They had to stay in the water because of the scent, as dogs were tracking them. So they went all the way up to 1888. They met the rendezvous there. From there, they took them to a German safe house in Sisterdale. From there, they took them to Piedras Negras for Central. And that's documented, and when the universities have it documented. So I have talked to the NAACP, and they verified that is true as well. But it was very dangerous, so people around here who knew it didn't talk about it because they would be persecuted, and they just let it go. There was many talk that I got information from each left their little trails for me, and that the Pound Creek was one of the little tributaries they used up through there. And so we're trying to identify that. Possibly Historical Commission would come out then and look into it more as archaeology. So it's a bigger picture. It's huge. I could go on and on forever.
If you don't know this story, you need to read the story about James Callahan.
Yeah, and that ties in with James Callahan who did this. He went after Indians to Piedras Negras and burn it down. But really, there was slaves that he was after bringing away slaves because it was just a different time like then.
They said it, that they were slaves that he went after.
Yeah, we're like that in practice. He said he was after my family. I said, really?
Yeah.
I got his book here.
So anyway, there's a lot to this.
So I was wondering, so you said that the city kind of has been in contact with the University of Texas, is that correct?
No, I have.
Oh, wonderful.
No,
Okay.
no.
I guess I was kind of wondering in terms of like, I'd love for the THC to get involved and us to do more, because that's fascinating. How kind of far along are you on? I just want to generalize.
For which part of it? I've been working with THC for years and years and years.
Just with like, in terms of like Underground Railroad.
Probably in the last year.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and they told me that, they'd be glad to try to send archaeologists out here as we get more information and stuff like that, so yeah.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah, and NAACP actually is a key to that, because they have the contacts and the people, the manpower to make that happen.
Awesome.
Very good. Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, that ends the public comment section of our meeting. And we're going to get to the announcements, or one announcement that out of the agenda. I'd like to go ahead and introduce the newest board member that is with us, right? And Frankie, yes. And we're very excited to have you on board.
Excited to be here.
And our next regular board meeting will be held on Monday, July 29th. Which is the last Monday of the month, and at our usual 6 p.m. time. If for some reason we need to try to reschedule that, just let me know. The City Hall will be closed on Thursday, July 4th. I will not make a 2-day holiday out of it.
We'll not make a 2-day holiday of it.
Okay. So we'll be back on Friday. And then one other announcement that's not on the agenda. Lori is kind enough to give me a new email address for Historic Commission business and future business. If you'd like to email me there, that would be great. It'd be helpful for 2 reasons. One is to kind of provide a record, so next commission that comes on or chair would have access to the email and see what's been done out to date. The second is just to help me personally keep things straight, because I've got all of the emails and having it already segregated. Historic preservation would be great. The email address is BHPC, Blanco Historic Preservation Commission Chair at City of Blanco TX That's BHPC chair, all one word, at city.tx.gov. The next thing is the consent agenda, and I'd like to apologize to the commissioner for this. I thought I got more of a minute prepared, but I got kind of sidetracked on things, and the two sets of minutes I did prepare, I've given to you, and I meant to get to y'all beforehand, but so it's up to y'all how you want to handle this. I've got minutes in November 27th, 2023, and January 29th, 2024. I know you haven't had a chance to look them over, so it's up to y'all if you want to pass on.
I wasn't here during those minutes, so I don't know anything about it. That's November and
Yeah.
January,
Yes, regular meetings, both.
and I'm glad you did August, because according to the minutes, I was supposed to do August. And I didn't. Well, I thought I saw August in here.
I don't think I did. Maybe someone else did.
I guess you didn't do August. I
Uh,
wonder where I saw that.
For this past month.
August
Right?
22.
August 23, yeah, I guess I didn't see that area, I just saw that day, I was wishing.
But, did you say August 22 again?
That was assigned to me last night, I'm not.
It says here 28. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, so I got it.
Okay.
But the good news is, we've got more time than I thought to get our hands in for CLG purposes. Because we at our training Saturday, the CLG representative, we talked about the annual reporting that we have to do. Every 4 years, they review us to make sure we're keeping up with things. And our 4 years is up this year. But the good news is they're not getting to us for a while now. Apparently, because we've been in such good compliance in past years, they put us at the end of the list and are looking at the more naughty governments than us. So we've got good time to catch up on minutes. So
Well, for 6 and 7, for February 12th and 26th, those minutes have been approved and passed on. Since I've been on. And in
okay.
these meetings, we've already approved.
Oh, okay, great. So we're
So we just need, last June, there wasn't a quorum, so July, August, and September of last year, that's all we need now.
great. That's super. So that's the time we get those taken care of. So we'll pass on the amendments, and y'all can review them at your leisure. And next meeting, we'll bring it up as old business and see about getting them approved. Theoretically, I don't know of any actual time limit. No, it's just we're required by law to do it, and it's, it's better to do it. And also to keep our CLG certification. I imagine once they do our 4-year review, that if we haven't, going to give us some time to catch up. It'd be nice to, have done when the review starts. So. Okay, we move off the consent agenda, old business, and Ruth, would you like to give your report on what's going on? You'll be ready for it. You'll be. Just kind of look at the yellow highlight that kind of making things go along.
Let me know what the pictures you want up there.
Probably will sign it. Brett, I'll give you my copy. I'll give you my copy. Okay, if you look at where it says prohibited signs, this comes off the sign signage guidelines for the entire city. When you look at that chapter of the UDC, and it has those in for the historic district. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. So they can get a little maybe confusing. So the sandwich, let's see, the sandwich sidewalk sign, that's something that some of the business owners that talked, and I had met with that, because she's good with marketing. That's one thing we should probably encourage the business owners to do, but not to block the sidewalk. Because they're always concerned, we don't have enough signs. And one guy told you, Lauren, you don't want us to make business, right?
What's that?
One guy told you that, right, Jesse?
Yeah.
And that's not true. That's a misinformation. We want them to like have business. I know as a self-employed all my life, you're always looking for the next dollar, the next signature. So when it brings out your sidewalk signs, y'all familiar with those, right? They kind of go. So if we can encourage them, and there's different ways, and that's very well continue with the meeting on the marketing. We want them to enhance, unify the historic district. So the sign would look attractive. You know, you walk up to it, hey, I only have $20 and it's two of us. They have a signage special here, that's this stuff here. That's encouraging because my wife and I were in a very tight relationship. So we want to encourage that. So it's not always that you guys don't want us to do business. That is absolutely not. Hold on to this. Healthy all the regulation that takes place. So if the work comes up and they say, well, HBO said this, or randomly walking on, she said, okay, always go about this. Not what I say, not what Warren says, not what Retta says or Patty, what it says here. Because everybody's in compliance, everybody's in. If that's on that part of the signage, then there are some prohibited signs, and that's overextending too many signage. There is a regulation. And then also the feather banners or flags, we see them all over town. So what happens in the past, that when I would send letters, I think you remember, don't remember, but I would send a letter and it would say, sorry about that, we'll be in compliance. They always wanted to let us know what we need to do. It was never like, you don't want us to do this. But then, on the other hand, they would say, well, why do they do it out there? It was before one. Why do they do it? So it was always a conflict. It was always a struggle. If they're doing it, we're going to do it. The old courthouse, when they do market days, they have 3 of them, 3 feather banners. There's pins on the ground. If someone trips on that pin right now, I don't want to be liable for that. So I made this public. So if something happens, I spoke about it in 2 days. Okay. One of the ways to take care of that, and when you look at the UDC, the whole chapters, all of them, and I met with the prior chief of police, not the last one before that, and with Laurie, the mayor today, and a couple other people. And when we found out that the person that would go and enforce signage citywide was the secretary of the city. And at that time, the chief of police, oh no, she's not. But that's what it said. So when no one took care of it. They'll say, well, we'll just do the district, and that's all we can do. There's a lot of banners that are up. There's the feather flags, I think they call them feather. And it kind of looked like you're at the beach. The first time I ever saw those was at the beach. They have 3 of them. They have one other 3. Go right. That one's good. All right, so these are the pins that I'm talking about. There's 3 of them out to figure why they walk in grass. I cannot tell you the genesis why they have these banners. I can only tell you they're there. Okay, I was at the beginning, but I didn't sit in the signage. And y'all spend many days and years on signage ordinances, right, Brenda?
Do I now?
Signage. Did y'all spend a lot of time on it? Were you part of that committee?
Well, the signage, started with the comprehensive master plan, and the Blanco Historic Restoration Plan was to update the signage ordinance. It's never been right since then.
It's never been one.
It has never been right since then.
It's never been.
There has been problems with it since,
On every sentence?
on the signage ordinances. Is that what you're asking me?
No, because were you part of that committee?
I was not part of this
Neither was
signage committee. I was
Billy
part of
Jean
the
and
Joey.
Billy Jean was?
Yeah, she worked very hard.
And that's what I was gonna say right there. There was a lot of the older ones that got in the genesis of it. And I don't know how y'all feel, but I feel like we ought to respect what they found. Why? Because when I moved here, keep Blanco. We're not like any other town.
We're not like Blanco anymore either.
No, not.
We are not like,
anybody anymore.
when we went to the film that they had at the library, they said, look at all these signs, look at all this, all these lights, all the signs. That's every town USA. That was Austin, San Antonio, Purdue, even Furnaceburg, and everybody said, keep Blanco. Tone it down, keep it country. And that's one of the ways to cut that back, because when I drive, I'm the hill country, everyone, and then they start painting. So there's other ways they can do that. I've seen other signs that they have letters. Have you all seen those? They don't, they had it in Lavender days. It was nice, better than this here. But that's in compliance. So what I'm asking you guys, since we really don't have a code compliance, building compliance, the secretary's not gonna do it, I'll work from the books. How would y'all like to address this? I'm gonna put the law on you.
But let me ask you, have you done anything recently, like I said, because I noticed when you first brought this subject up to me, I noticed were those temporary banner signs. And then like a week later, a lot of them were gone. I didn't know if you had said something to the owners or they just removed them.
I read an article, they might have read it, or the top folks around, and they might have said, oh, the HBO back, he's gonna do this and that, but yeah. But when the steel waste go through, then you guys get to decide. It's always in compliance, we've never turned anyone down, but if they want it for 3 months, 4 times a year, something like that, it skips and goes, then they can do that. But when they want to put all kinds of signs, and on the back end, that's the way y'all hire me. I say y'all, but, the old board that was here, is that let's get the HPO back, and the only way it's gonna get paid is to the COA for renovations and for signage. And so that's the way I make a little money. I've spent a lot of time doing a lot of administrative stuff. They can testify, they say, look, they get a lot of calls and emails from me, almost 7 days a week. We're not caught up, guys. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. We can move on unless you all have questions, but I would like for y'all to come up with a committee. We can sit down and figure out what letters to send. I know the last time we did Cambridge and said, let us do the letters. I don't know where to move forward as a format, because we want to be nice and friendly. My letters were always nice and friendly. Enhance the town, increase your profits. This is the only thing that's an obstacle. And I sent them these pages right here, and they would read it. A lot of times it's reading all that.
So we're talking just about the businesses around the square.
Yeah, that's the only place.
So if these are our ordinances, can we not just take these around and ask them?
That's one solution, but if y'all want to get 2 or 3, I'll be glad to meet with you during a week. We can decide what's the best method.
I have to tell you that I have been unable to come to all these extra meetings for right now. Like I'm just in over my head right now. And, so coming to meetings for these committees, to have committees, I don't know that I can do that.
Yeah, that's fine. I understand. I know where you're at. You're not already talking about this, but we got young people.
Yeah, in setting up committees, I mean, it could be a committee of one, right?
Well, I can be the own committee, but then I want someone to say, hey, let's go this direction.
It's good to have at least 2, don't you think? That way you're not out there all by yourself.
We're gonna do this then. Let me write up some letters, bring us to the next meeting, and y'all decide the format.
Yeah, well, I was gonna offer to be on that committee since.
Okay, we're gonna do next.
Orders are good at writing letters to ask people to do things around. And I'll be happy to help on that. We wanted to set up, the committee, I always feel that the staff should be there too, like the one I did that one time, I had like 10 people back there. And we wanted up to, well, the secretaries to sign enforce or code compliance for the signage, which is how I do it. I'd like to see a warrant be there, that way, he knows what's happening. The worst thing to do is make all these plans and they're isolated. We're all in the same page. Yeah. Now, I know there was a proposal in the city council a while back about hiring a part-time code enforcer for night sky violations.
Yeah, that did not pass.
That went over like the lead balloon, I know.
Yeah, it didn't pass, but we have got compliance. The only one we've got compliance so far with working with the mayor is TRP. Everything else, we haven't done anything yet on. And that's the truth. We have talked to Calvin, we can do the whole shorter, but I think that's, we've got 1 out of 12 figured out. So.
Well, if I recall the proposal, it sounds like it's really easy to hire a part-time code enforcer, there's no real certification involved, or is it not just?
Well, this person actually is certified. It's a code enforcement officer certification. So yeah, I mean, now I know in the past the city's had people that may not have their certification, but this person does.
Okay, I know that's been a sore subject politically.
Well, what about the money? I mean, does the city have money to hire people?
I argue that you can use hotel motel.
That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, I came up with it, but it didn't pass. It's I respect what the we don't pay that.
Whatever you want to decide. Whoever you want in your team. It's not that hard. I just feel that since the UDC does not specify who's the enforcer, the state tells me I'm the enforcer. But then the UDC here has a little thing about HDO. Then you go to the application, there's 3 pages. We need to dovetail those together. And then with the state. You know, I've heard in the past, we don't do what the state does. We just got recommended Saturday. No one do that. Or else we get kicked out. We do them all. And they're all within reason. It preserves, when we follow that, it preserves Blanco. When we just look at the other way, then it happens and it's no longer Blanco.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, if there was some way that you could be also the, code enforcer, I think that would be ideal. I just didn't know if there was some, regulation or state law saying you can't wear 2 hats. That's all it's fun. So, would the commission like to make a motion that we form a sign enforcement committee and have me on the committee and anyone else who wants to volunteer to work with me to look into the sign enforcement?
Yes, I say.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
we
actually,
got to refer to first.
well, I want to know, do we need a motion to form a committee?
Yes,
Okay.
because there's too many loopholes in the UDC. Because they'll come back out and say, who told you to do that?
Okay.
That happened when we had Roxanne as a chairperson. All I did was walk in and the guy from the drugs department, the husband, did his. He said, hey, someone tells me that all my signs are wrong. And I said, I don't know, I wasn't that involved in it, but they had passed the signage and the wife added more. And then it came to them because they were in cahoots, they're friends, okay? And then we got recommended here, and I'm like, all I was doing was walking and answering bands, questioning. See, that's what happens when there's too much. Everybody has something to say walking in town.
Well, I just noticed that, just looking over this a few minutes ago, that there's a lot of committees proposed here. I don't know if there's enough people to be on all those committees. Throughout this agenda, down at number 1, the possibility of creating a committee to explore the creation of a new committee. I mean, a committee to make a committee, and then
Where's that?
I think that might
number
be
1 down at the bottom of the page, and then the next page, number 2, is making another committee. So this would be like 3 or 4 committees, depending on how. And so do we have enough people to man those committees?
Well, the committee reports has Greta and Jacqueline doing survey. And then on page, I don't see any more on page 2. Page 3, establish a marketing and public relations, which I've been doing already anyway. I've been doing that solo, like Facebook, newspaper articles, the banners. So all I'm asking is for, if you're able, you all have one more person, and I kind of wet her up. So that's already.
So we don't have to have since you can only have 2 commissioners working at the same time unless Lori posted it. But that'd be fine, right? Just two members and.
And the chairman can always sit in. That's one of the things that's on the UD.
So that's not against the court,
You know, that's a good question.
I think, yeah, I think,
it could be.
Yeah, it makes 2 or more, it becomes a forum. She can publish it within the meeting, and it's still.
yeah, for the open meeting, though, you know, if the quorum is present, they can't discuss it. And, well, we've got 6 on the commission, so the quorum is 4. So,
You can still only have one person. I thought that was the rule. Warren would know that more than I would.
2 or more, right?
What's that?
How many people of the commission can gather together on a committee at one time?
So it's supposed to be 2, the quorum's 4, right? You just 2 people on a committee. I don't usually, you know.
That's what I understood. Unless it's posted.
Laurie knows, I can ask it. Let's see, what number was I on?
what one thing before we move on, Rudy, you asked a very good question about, we have too many. First of all, that the 21 business, as Alex pointed out, that it was my fault, bad, we're out for the commission, our committee to look at establishing a committee, you know, it's gonna be we need to form a committee, and that's something that, you know, right over, you know, we'll address that. The second committee is number 2, the marketing and public relations committee, and I think Connie's going to volunteer for that. I'm going to volunteer for that. And if anyone else wants to be, they're more than welcome to.
So maybe since the committee we're talking about right now, is that on the agenda? Can we vote on that or make a motion on that since it's not on the agenda?
That's a good question, and I think we will have to pass on, you know, bring it up.
Put it on the next agenda.
Pretty good, I'm glad you brought that up. Is that the old business number 1?
Yes,
The HBO report?
yeah, because we have the report, but there's, we've got a generic consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on the following, but no, you know, proposal on forming a committee. So we will put on the next agenda, form the compliance, sign compliance committee. We vote on that at the next meeting.
But it'll still be a committee that gets to do one next month, it's just holding it back.
Yeah,
So it's still a committee.
yes.
Yes.
We can't be officially formed a committee until.
So the next meeting, well, let me go ahead and, you know, go talk to them and send it over.
Yeah.
And the only reason I asked for that, Joe, is like I said, it's a small.
No, I don't mind. I just want to stay in compliance with the Robert Rules of Order and how to run a meeting, because if we don't have it on the agenda, we shouldn't be voting on it.
It's not on the agenda. It's on the-
But form a committee that exists, it's not on the agenda.
It doesn't spell that out that way. Okay, I'll see what. Thank you so much. But you're very useful, man. All right, so go ahead. Rudy. So let's go, Gateway, we already talked about that. Let's go to the recent damages, and we see a photo up there. Where you see the blue, the wind, there's an uplift wind, which you have those high winds, yet the banner right next to it, the heritage banner, wouldn't even touch or torn. And then it tore the metal roof, but not the banner. And it's only like 2 feet away from it, 4 feet at the most. And that's why when you see tornadoes, you know, tornado wiped all this out, but our house stayed right intact. So they replaced it. That was a maintenance, because they went right back to the same color. If we can go to the rating now of town. There it is, the one on the bottom right.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
Okay, the railings, we know that there was a front car, I hear all different stories, accident. They went right back to the same material, colors, everything. It was a maintenance issue. When you look at the UDC, there, can you hear me? You're following? A maintenance, they do not need a COA. If y'all would have thought that was a big guy, I would have gone after him for a COA to get some money. But that's not what it is. Just be ethical about this. I don't know. All it was a maintenance. And I sent him an email, and you and I met that day with, 490? 419, what's the lady's name?
Cindy.
Sandy, yeah, I go blank sometimes. I wonder why. I told her then it's a maintenance issue. We don't need a COA. I'm not sure they pulled a permit. We didn't even have, they didn't need a permit either.
They didn't permit, it was just, they were just fixing something.
So it's a maintenance tax. So if anybody says, you're making us get a COA, you're going two-story. We've had COA before, but this was a maintenance issue, an emergency. We talked about that Saturday morning, a fire happens, how quick are we going to respond? So that answers that. The fence permit. You have a fence now, Maureen?
About 319.
Yeah. No, that's 419.
Over this year.
419, Pecan Street.
Is there 419 people on here?
It might be in the second email sending. It put it in the box. That's an illegal banner there, but they took it off. Okay, well, at the old Pioneer Place, they put up a beautiful fence. Have y'all seen it?
The Pioneer Museum.
It kind of looks like a fence at your place, the voice of, she called me up and said, hey, there's a fence that went up. It must have been the street, I didn't see it. But they didn't get a seal on it. But that way, on the ex-office building they had open, I called her up, she said, oh, I'm sorry, they're in the historic district. I gave them a permit.
Are they in the historic district?
Mhm.
That museum, the old museum, we go that far?
Museum.
And then the next building over, that long.
Museum.
Chips place. So what would help there, because if it happened to Olga, she's human, I understand it, I just can't get any money, that's okay. If we could provide them with some type of a template, showing the district, that when that address comes up, a red light goes up that you need to seal it. But they're missing the bulb, it's not the first time,
Providing the book.
the bulb, they're missing the bulb.
And I didn't really know that was in the district. I thought the district.
Yeah, I think we should.
Honestly, I didn't.
So who do we need to notify, PZ or city secretary or?
City Hall.
The city hall, okay, they're dropping the ball.
So we go further than just around the.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
One day we're gonna take a walk. We did that one time, we did a tour.
Well, it's not 95 degrees, sir.
We'll bring you beer or water. Something you said. But anyhow, they put up the fence, it's in compliance, it lines up with the side of the house. Some of the fences in town, they go all the way to the street, and when you drive up, like the new beach store, where you go to the stop sign, you have a whiskey place here, liquor store, you try to look over and the man at the other house built this fence almost to the street. The cedar post. When you drive that way, you try to look to the left, you're gonna be in an accident. You cannot see it.
On 7th Street, that's not in the historic district. But when you're on this side of 281 and you're on 7th Street, you cannot see.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's several like that because somehow they could take a warrant because it's not a building
Well,
inspector.
that fence has been there longer than.
That when they build a fence here in town, they do whatever They might get a permit. So what does that come back to the historic district? The city needs help somehow, and that's their issue there as far as the code compliance.
I just don't think there's enough publicity for the people within the district, owners within the district.
What's that?
There's
Is
just
your
not enough
context?
information fed to them. They don't get enough information.
I think that's right.
They need something monthly.
I think it's
sent to
another
them.
email.
We're doing it in the district for the streetscape. But that's not for all the rules and regulations that they have. Yeah. They need to get more. And they're not.
That was the one
Each
that
one
said
needs
it's
to
go
get
up
the
right there.
ordinance.
You got to open the whole thing. Just look at photos. Here. So then, keep going.
I think you were saying.
Okay, we'll bring it. It's not there. There were one.
Two
after
emails
another.
from Rudy.
Yeah, there was one after another. one. Right there. Isn't that it? No, that's the other one. Okay, well, let's go up to the center anyway. Let's talk about that. Go to the right, right there. Yeah, go to the left. That's the center. That's the vinyl band that had gone on for the golf tournament. Years ago, that's at the real estate office. Years ago, they tried to put it in at the old courthouse. Oh, okay. And the courthouse, it said, can we put up,
I was looking at the map.
they tried to put in a banner and said, you need a seal, well, we're not gonna do it. So they went to, the mechanic on the right hand side. And they put it there, which was fine, I guess. They put it on the fence, and then this one, they put that there. By the time I got to it to bring it to the meeting, it's already come down. And, you know, the city has an ordinance. Can we do anything? All I'm gonna do with them, just tell them we saw your sign next time. Because most of the businesses here will tell me this, let us know how to do it next time. So we can make sure we do it. They're not in conflict. We just didn't have the manpower. When I left you guys, it was HBO, a lot of the stuff started popping.
But bring it back to the fence at 419, what they built, you think it was, is in compliance and just they go through the paperwork?
Yeah, it's 6 feet high. Good question, 6 feet high. They're on the property line. Okay, and the fence stops at the sides of the home at the front. Should they have gone with the fence in the front, it has to be about 32, 36 inches high. That way, when you go to the stop sign, as a driver, you can see it. That's why it's there. The second reason why it's there, if you call EMS and Granny is having a heart attack or something, if you cover up your property with high walls, they might not find your address. Those are the two main reasons.
Is there any way that we could, encourage them to go back and retroactively apply for the COA
I
so
was
that?
just gonna ask that. Yeah.
It's been on my mind, yeah. I wanted to throw that at more and see what he thinks, because he's got more.
No, we can ask him, we can ask him to do it. Now, they're gonna ask you though, what if they don't approve it?
If they deny it.
I guess we could go take the fence.
That's all. We gotta make her the building permit, building. He said, that's what they do in the county.
You know, technically, you're, not compliant to, city ordinance and.
Problem goes back to city authorized.
Well, that's okay. We need to help the city. The city has
They need
more
the
to
money.
do than they can handle. And if we don't all pitch in and be a part of it, then we're helping them not do as good as they could do.
If they listen to us,
And
The
Lori
city.
listen, and Lori listen. They're the only important.
only when it's here, only when it's here, no offense, only when it's here. I mean, he does communicate on stuff like this. And Laurie does as much as she can.
I just
But
bet
then
you
that's
if you
those-
went up there and tell those guys they're on compliance and they can make it right. by
Maybe
doing
I
the
can
COA,
park my
they'll do
truck
it.
on their door and then only to come out. Then there's a cycle. Yeah, I feel like I don't have any listeners when it comes to the city.
I was a school teacher, I didn't handle this kind of stuff.
Because on bigger towns like Austin, even Kansas City, I can walk in and you don't talk to this guy, talk to this guy. I don't have problems getting permits in Johnson City. I do here. And there's so much work that goes up without permits, and that's city revenue. That's why they're in a tight budget.
I don't mean to be flippant. I just believe that they need to make it right.
So,
You're right. I'm not gonna do that. That's why I'm bringing that up.
do we think that they should look back and did we issue something or, I mean, we've been here an hour.
Yeah, and I'm really not a tight schedule here, so we didn't.
Okay, well, it's just motion to table, any action on 419?
I'll make a motion that we put on the next agenda,
About the fence?
intention to form a committee for the sign compliance. Did I say that right? I'm stumbling over that. I can't read my own writing. And that, I'll make that motion.
Second,
I will check in.
all in favor?
They probably don't know what they want.
We're starting on the form, a bit on the agenda for next week, the form, sign compliance, committee. Okay, so the motion passed 4-0.
Alex, did you second it?
I tried to, I got confused.
Who seconded it?
I'm not sure.
Who
I
made it?
think you met, you,
I made the motion.
out of this,
Okay, I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
definitely guys, what's next?
The bylaws, you were gonna do something about bylaws.
Oh, not today, I don't know what that's. Discussion, or good? All right, no discussion of bylaws. No, we'll table that. And the camp training, training, city training, that's really. In Bronxville was Friday. Is anyone planning on going? No, I can't make it.
I'm going out of town.
Ellie's going,
I'm gonna try to go.
You going out?
I'm gonna try to go.
Patty. Yes, okay, okay.
That's great.
That's nice. And then, discussion of anyone that attended the Hot Fund Commission trainings at the 3rd on May 18th. Patty was there. Patty, what did you think of that Hot Fund training?
If we can get the funding, we need to get in there and try for it.
Good.
The city needs some kind of, any improvement we can do. They can help us get a lot of this stuff.
Okay, do you see any areas in particular that we might get some hot funding that we're not taking advantage of?
Top of my head. Historic house, well, the historic places that we're trying to preserve, the wall
Well,
behind the cranberries.
okay.
This building here, supposed to have been part of the museum, according to the record. And that's solely in that tourism.
They tried to
Yeah,
make
they're-
a museum one time.
Yeah, they're working on.
So, Rudy, you had said there's a potential to use hot funds for walking tour out.
Yeah, no,
Something that would apply.
That's what they do.
Yeah,
But there's some potential there. Okay. And then the CLE training that took place this Saturday, Rudy, Rhoda, Allie and I were there. Jackie. And Jackie was there. Stephanie Wright from Streetscape was there. And, I found it very helpful for a new person. They told me a lot of things to bother the veteran committee members or the committee members, asking questions about. Kind of fill me in, and I would, you find it, also helpful.
oh yeah, learned a lot.
Really, other own business. On number, can we go to page 3?
So I got it reversed.
Yeah,
Number 7, that's already been done.
are we up to right?
Yeah, so we were gonna carry that. And I wasn't sure what number 4 was there.
Okay,
I gotta
So
go.
we can mark out number 4.
yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. Anything else, Rudy?
No, I think that's it.
All right, well, then we'll get Brenda to come up here. She can, do 2 things, in order that she wants, streetscape report and then a report on the Kanban.
Okay. I have sent out, I think everybody, but I want to make sure that everybody's gotten it, where streetscape came from. It started off with the comprehensive master plan. When Cordelia Wilton was on the, streetscape, it was an advice, she went back and she researched it to the very beginning so that everybody knew that it was legitimate and where it came from. So I started over again. It came from the comprehensive master plan, which with the first meeting, Chris Holcamp with LCRA, who was doing the comprehensive master plan, said to us that get the historic commission to go to the city council and ask for visionary preservation program from THC, Texas Historic Commission. Castroville was the polytop for the VIP. It's called the VIP. So we did that, and we had to send in applications, and we had to become a certified local government. We had to update our ordinance, which took 2 years to update the ordinance. We had to do all these things, and so the very first application went in, and we started January 2003 with comprehensive master plan. The first application for the VIP went in February. Candy Carter did the first one. And the Historic Commission had to request it. So we got turned down. We weren't good enough. We didn't have enough strength. So the next one I did, and I had surgery on my neck and I was working on it. And so that one was turned down too. That was in probably 4 or 5 months later that it was really one of the toughest applications you've ever seen to get this. But when we got turned down the second time, they said, we will give it to you in 2007. That was 2004. And during all that time, we had to be strengthening our historic program in Black Oak. Because they were coming in to spend millions of dollars on this town to help us have a good historic preservation program. So we had to prove that we were going to do something. So anyways, we did that, and we started the comprehensive master plan was approved in 2005 or 6. No, 2005, in February the 8th, 2005. We started the VIP in February of 2007. For 7 months we met. This was all the citizens of Blanco. We had a house full of citizens in Blanco. We came out with the Blanco Historic Preservation Action Plan. It's online. It's also on file with the Texas Historic Commission. Out of 7 months, that's where. So streetscape is one of the tasks in the action plan. Not Green Skies is one of the action plans. The 4-way gateways we're trying to get in is in it. Update the signage ordinance is in it. We have only begun. We're still working on many of them, but the Historic Commission is working on some, and other people are working on some too. Like we're an ad hoc committee of this, and that happened because we weren't being able to move forward, and so we asked the city for a resolution. And in 2009, they gave us a resolution to form a committee, which is Streetscape Committee, to come up with a master plan for the historic district. And so that's what Streetscape is. And we started it, and that one in January 2010, we worked for months and months, and we could not come up with enough money. And so we finally got pro bono Jim Rady was pro bono. He designed, parking lots in, different places and everything. So he said he would do it pro bono. So we came up with a conceptual plan that was approved in 2014. And when Bruce Steele came in, he put, after a while, we were still working on it. We went on hold in 2017 for a few years, and then Judy said, keep like a deal at $5,000 that we had in the pot for this. And so that's still in there in the bank. And so Judy and I looked at each other and we said, we want to see this happen while we're still alive. So I went to the city and had it voted on again in 2020 to resurrect it. We updated the resolution and got a new, Keep Life Up Beautiful was made in what's called a management of agreement. And we were made the fundraisers for it because we are 501c3. And the contract, it's three people, or three entities, the city, Keep Life Up Beautiful, and Streetscape. And so all the publicity that you'll see is Keep Life Up Beautiful, Streetscape project. So that's where we are now. We have gotten to the point this time. We've been going since 2020 again, and Joanne Pemberton is our architect. We've had one letter of agreement, and we decided we had to do it by phases because we could not raise them for the whole district. So our first phase was from 300 down. It went past the city hall, but it's actually going to the creek down there. And so we have that done. She's paid. We just signed the second phase, and that it will be from Pecan Street to 281 on 3rd Street. And it will go down the side of Cranberries to the rock wall. This is one of the hot topics in Blanco. You'll hear this because the rock wall is a part of the historic district. And that's it up in question right now. Big questions right now, right? Because we've been trying to get it. In 2018, I was chair back then, and we had tried to get the city to do something about the rock wall because it was in such bad repair and it was holding Cranberries and loses up. And we couldn't get anything done, so we did a letter, the man letter, to the city of Blanco to get an engineer. Patrick Sparks did the engineering. And it got big on hold. And a lot of it is trying to get money. So it is back at the top of the list now. And so it's getting it rebuilt, is trying to get money. But it's a part of streets. It will be in Streetscape too. And there's a new idea now that's just come up today. And trying to get that done. So that's what Streetscape is to do the historic district. And the district goes more than it. Right now, the courthouse is here. Anything that faces the courthouse is in phase 1, 2, 3, 4. But phase 3 will be 4th Street from 281 past the bowling alley. And phase 4 will be 281, and we're hoping by then that is Main Street. That is no longer 281, that has become Main Street because we feel like when the truck route or bike alternate route, when all that comes through, that we will be able to go back to Main Street and it will be turned back over to Blanco. But that's where we are right now. And we meet Thursday night will be our regular meeting. We have 7 committee members now, and we're short one. So y'all come and the agenda's on the computer just like everything else. Any questions? Oh, I wish you'd had questions.
I'll be amazing.
Yeah.
I'll be
Gary,
amazing.
Gary, when this was done, the first resolution called for 10 members. And so, the chair and vice chair they had to be from the historic commission. In fact, when Jim Rady came in, he had to join the historic commission to even be able to do our work. And so that's what's happened. So Gary, once he got on here, he's now on Streetscape also.
I stopped by,
It takes two to register. It's like an umbrella.
but you know, I'm only.
Y'all can see what Wayne Gosnell has done. This is what we're doing. And so, we are raising money. We're trying to raise money as much as we can, as hard as we can, and we have, of course, the grants are a big one, but
Brenda, are you gonna talk about, the rock wall, that meeting the other night? Are you gonna talk about the rock wall?
yes,
meeting the other night?
and so that is in the, the rock wall itself is in the historic, and I'll go back to Densall Park too, or the pecan bottom. The rock wall across Town Creek into the pecan bottom is in the historic district. The two lots in the pecan bottom are not in the historic district. We tried to do, we'll go to this part real quick too, because in our ordinance,
recording, so
yeah, in our ordinance, it calls that we enlarge our district, and we have tried to enlarge our district. Holly Spotright worked on it to bring the pecan bottom into the district. We were not successful at that time, but we do need to do that. We need to, and that's the next one down here. We did, but it's not us that needs to do it. This is a project that's in the House ordinance that you all do things to enlarge the district. The historic commission.
what are the steps in order to do that? What do we have to do to enlarge it?
Well, the Texas Historic Commission is there to help us on everything. When we did, in the first place, they lived with us for 8 years.
So we need to contact.
Yes,
They were
yes.
Holly's boat rider is the one that did it first year. She had the papers, and I called her before I came. She thinks she gave it to me. I don't remember, but I'll start looking for it. The work that she had done. At that time, they said, no, we don't want to do it, but we have the basic work that's been done to enlarge it.
The other thing that we talked about real quick, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna put this in there and let's go, but we talked about, you're talking about hot fund money. We talked about with that to bring in tourism as the rock wall is finished, and they talked about the park and all that stuff as a package deal. But the other thing you can do is interpretive history boards for the Bensall Park and for the Pecan Bottom that tells Blanco's history. And that's a tourism thing, and I think hot funds will pay for that directly. Or can pay for that. And so you were asking, I think that's because I've looked into that before, and I think the city council, some of them are for that. And so I think it's something y'all could come up with, is telling the history about the wagon crossing through here, climbing the trees, the Indians used them. Just all of those kind of things are crucial and all that.
The one thing about the Pecan Bottom that's wanted is the educational part.
Yeah.
And there may have been publicized before, but that's what's coming to surface, and that's what, there was a big meeting, citizens meeting down in, Bensall Park.
Yeah.
A couple of nights ago about this.
Yep.
Well, my understanding of the EDC is that pretty much anyone can petition the commission to enlarge or create a new district. But there are certain procedures that have to be followed.
Yes.
That's what I was wondering about.
Yeah, and the main one I think that applies in this case is that any or a majority of property owners in the new district or a large district have to approve and include the district. And we're talking about for Pecan Bottom Park, the city, if you're expanding it to different property owners, they'll include it. So you first want to make sure that the city is okay, the city council is okay with, enlarging the district. And then we approve it, and then it goes back to city council for their approval again.
Well, that's what happened with this. We did a small section and the neighbors didn't want it. But if we take it, one idea, and this is something y'all can think about, is to take do you enlarge a district or do you establish a new district? if you took this district and added this down here where there's more people, and the Methodist churches has a marker, all these houses down there are historic, and the National State Park, and you make it, you enlarge it and bring all that in, it probably would go. You have to look at all different things, and they will help us. The Texas Historic Commission, and when we need help, they'll help us.
Well, the thing is that, someone has to petition
Uh,
us, the committee. We'll
That's
have the
right,
hearing.
y'all have to,
We'll have the hearing, but we're not doing the proposal.
no, yeah.
Someone has to do that. It could be committee members involved in it, or individual.
It will be committee members, and it's our commission that does it, not them.
Are you talking about us as being the commission to do it? We're not going to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
we hear that whoever wants to do it. We're like sitting as a judge, like in a COA, we're application. We're not preparing the application. We're hearing it from the owners, the property owners.
Did we talk about this yesterday, Saturday, whenever it was? It didn't come up, did it?
No.
Okay, you need to get that information from them,
Okay,
what you do.
but I think the first thing, before you make an application, is that you've got the property owner permission or approval.
Well, it's a process in there, and just like with Polly, she reached that point where she can go no further. But we're looking at doing it in a different way, a larger area, and so maybe this time we can go further. Yes.
So, Gary, what you're saying is that the request is for us to create a committee to explore the creation of a new committee to explore expanding the historic district. And you're saying that somebody needs to come to us and petition it for us to, consider whatever.
No, you all decide that you're going to do this, and you start doing all the legwork and doing all the work on it. I've always said it before.
I don't know what Holland says. I know what the UDC says, and it's.
What about the UDC?
It basically says anyone can petition it. Second, you're volunteering the commission to do work that, anyone can petition us. And if individual committee members want to participate in that, they're certainly obligated to. But for us to all of a sudden draw up our other, committees and everything else to work on this is, I think, one, it's unfair to ask us to do that. And second, it's kind of outside our realm. We are more like the jury. And we can, if someone wants to come and say, hey, I want to present this proposal, it's up to us to listen to it and see if all the requirements are met.
There's also Blanco saving Blanco.
Well, maybe if
Preserve Blanco.
I keep Blanco beautiful, petition for it, then,
The Blanco, keep Blanco beautiful and petition for that.
I know, but I see what Gary's saying, and I agree with him in that it needs to come from somebody outside of us, and then we go to work to make it happen.
Well, what I would do is get in touch with Kelly and let her walk you through it and let you know how to do it.
So I make a motion that we study on the right procedure, the correct procedure on number 1, and bring it back next month to see, I'll volunteer to call Kelly and talk to her about the right procedure.
Kelly, she was
I'll
here
get the phone
Saturday,
number from you, okay?
and I'll help you where I can. but
I know you will.
Yeah.
I might come to your house or you come to my house.
All of you see what Hollis has done. The Hollis is such a small area that there was no way but all down there, all those houses are historic, and the Methodist church is historic. And then we
better go. We gotta get this done.
Go.
I got kids at home waiting for me. And is that okay with you? I don't need to.
I don't know,
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. What motion to study on it? We have a-
I'm sorry. I didn't finish that.
Uh,
Yeah.
There might be some books back in there that we have on the historical commission that y'all can read too.
I make a motion that we, explore how to make the book on the bottom. I don't know what competition.
Part of it.
Or the historic district. Or I'll make a motion that we call Kelly and see what she can give us guidance on to bring the supply into the historic district. Is that good enough?
That sounds great. Do we have a second?
Second.
Patty seconds it. All in favor? Aye.
I,
Passes unanimously. Okay, the next item is, we'd like to establish a marketing and public relations committee, for the purposes of one, assisting, with the social media and internet right now, and other social and other media programs. Right now, Ruby, HBO is doing everything. The second is to update and publish the, updated Discover Historic Blanco pamphlet, Portrait of Blanco. I know, and I think Ally will volunteer to be on that committee.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
was,
working on some other things, but Ruby's talking.
okay,
Kind of what he wants to do.
and, I would also volunteer.
Hollis was really, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
I
please,
think Hollis was really into this, but I don't know if she's up for anything right now. Do you know?
and when you say has kind of the pamphlets and the booklet or the social media.
Wasn't Hollis working on the book?
So that's a pretty.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, because that's where the question, the pamphlet question, the walking tour,
Yeah.
and it was very popular. Y'all did a great job. It sold out. They don't have any more copies over at the courthouse, and they want more. And then when I brought it up to Rudy, he said, well, you know, there were some issues with the last one. There's,
It was popular. I think we ought to oblige them by getting them more.
okay,
We were talking about an idea, which I don't know. I've only consulted with one app, and it's expensive. So I'd have to kind of go back to the drawing board and consult with some apps, but there would be ways to possibly work with a few apps that work with small.
But can we have something on paper also?
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people come through,
It would
we
be-
don't want to use an app.
Yeah, and it would be based on the pamphlet only. It would just be kind of an option. If that makes sense. And it also might not be this level, so it would just be more.
okay.
It's a family thing.
Well, you think it would be a motion in the television? Don't you think? I mean, I'm sorry I'm burning you up, but I've got a load of pickup by tomorrow to take it to Utah with those kids, and I'm really, I'm sorry to cut it short.
That's fine. Chair can make a motion, but I'll make a motion, that we establish a marketing and public relations, committee, with Valley and Gary on it, that they look into, getting quotes, to update or publish another edition of the, pamphlet, the walking tour pamphlet, and that, review it and bring it to the committee with any suggestions. If we see any changes we'd like to make, we bring it back to the commission and get those approved before we send off the printer. We also get a estimate of the printing cost. And that,
Pretty long motion.
it's a lot of motion.
There's a lot of them there.
We also, help Ruby with, the Facebook and any other social media and create with committee approval, any additional social media platforms.
I second that motion.
All in favor? Aye. Four. And actually,
So a suggestion is Wendy Cambridge. I think she had a lot to do with some of that stuff also. And if y'all know Wendy,
I didn't know if you would be willing and able to.
she's
Available.
so willing. And
Oh,
available.
great.
She was here and but she'd be, I got a phone number. I'll give it.
Okay, great. And then when I'm telling Ally, I'll help out. I'm better on the analog side than the digital side, so, you know.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, on, number 3, CLD requirements, let's table that, as we brought up, it's not a pressing an issue after Saturday's meeting. 4, let's table secretary to take, like.
I don't mind acting secretary. I don't have to have a label. I mean, I don't have to have a title, but I don't mind doing the minutes.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
all right.
Okay, you give me the title.
Yeah, can we do the title?
if that's all you want from me.
So I make a motion to, I like, Gail is, secretary.
Motion to accept Gail and so. You elected secretary to the commission.
All in favor? An annual report,
Well, there's something here that he gave us,
yeah, that was a copy of the 2022 report. And, let's,
oh, yeah, yes.
we're just required to make an annual report to the city council each year, and we're about a year and a half behind. But, let's just pass that to the next meeting.
Okay.
All in favor of passing that next meeting?
I second it.
Second.
Yeah,
All in favor? And same with budget, how about that?
okay. You make the motion?
I'll make the motion that we also pass the budget. And number 7, we already give the,
Yeah, we already did that.
and, completes all new items, future items, we've already got the,
Yeah, we
kind
got
of
it.
form the signing plan, committee. And, also the, other things that may come up, that we passed on today, like the, annual report, or working on the budget.
We ought to be able to pretty much copy this, because I don't have 5 years old. And I don't think we've actually accomplished anything. Well, Wendy, would know, Wendy and Paulus, they've been on here. I'm just kind of a short tail kind of person, I just kind of. I'll take one of these home and bring them back for Jackie.
Okay.
And I
That'd be great.
don't know if this is yours. Do you have?
That's a extra copy. But unless anyone else has any.
I'm the one that always makes the motion to adjourn, I'm always.
You can cover that.
So, and who wants to second it?
I will second. Patty will second.
Okay, Patty seconded it, so, all in favor?
I'm glad that you're doing helpful. I appreciate it.
I'm not, no, I'm just bossy.